Hello, and welcome to my first ever Here's What I'm Watching from my downstairs living room because my upstairs dining room studio is still going through some transformations that we started before Thanksgiving, which is always a perfect time to make a complete renovation of your dining room. And that's pretty much what we took on last week. And now we've had to move some furniture around, blah, blah, blah. Who cares? So yesterday I did something that I have never done before, but have wanted to, and that is to take the day to drive to Lincoln and see two movies, one right after the other, because there were two really good movies at the Ross movie theater. So it was a cold day, and I spent all day Saturday doing chores and getting things done. So I gave myself the day off by just allowing myself to spend it would be, yeah, 4.5 hours just sitting and watching movies in Lincoln. It would have been delightful, except the theater was a little chilly. So, what were the two movies that I really wanted to go see? Well, the first one was Whiplash, which the names of the actors I'll have to put down in the caption because they are very good actors and everybody should know their names. The one guy, anyway, okay. So here's the thing about Whiplash is that it is a realism movie, and that made the pairings of the two movies that I went to kind of interesting because one was about realism and one was about fantasy, yet there were elements of both in both movies, of course. Whiplash tries, though, to be completely realistic. It's a story about a music student in a very prestigious music college, and he is tormented by a instructor at the college who's also the director of the, let's say, the varsity squad jazz band. Now the instructor is a horrible, evil person. And the problem that you start to see as you're watching Whiplash is that he is rubbing off onto this young student, who, by the way, is a musician. He's a drummer. And this instructor is rubbing off on the drummer in some not great ways. And when you are feeling like, oh, I just really want something to happen to this guy, some things happen. Not The story did not go in the direction I was expecting to. It's a very well written story, and it's a very well performed movie. And one of the things about this movie that you will notice is that so much of what you're watching are close ups of people's faces, primarily the instructor and the student. And it is something, a really good story. This is a great example of how a really good story can be told with fewer words. Of course, there's a lot of music. The music is very good. In fact, I really enjoyed the credits because there's great music on the back end of the movie and over the credits. Very good. It is a very well written movie. The acting is great. I expect this movie is going to get some attention come award time. No women except for one token girl character who is basic. When I say girl, I mean young woman who is basically introduced just so you have another way to know that the student is taking on some personality aspects of the instructor. So she's kind of in prop land, and that's not great. The movie, again, the name is Whiplash. Very good. Highly, highly recommend it. Now, the next movie I went to that was a little more fantasy wise was Birdman with Michael Keaton, Edward Norton. Yes, I know these guys' names. Michael Keaton, Edward Norton, Naomi Campbell, Gwen. Oh gosh, what's her name? The really cute girl, Gwen. What's her name? They they all do a great job. The women actually have parts in this movie. Oh gosh, what? Oh, I just lost her name. Really good actress from Boston, from the Boston area. She did a great job in the movie Gone Baby Gone. I think it's Amy something. She was also on The Office for a while. Anyway, it's an interesting story. It's kind of kooky. There's kooky stuff that goes on. There's some really cool camera tricks. The movie is shot as if it's one continuous scene, as if there are no scene breaks, which they are very subtly worked in, but you don't have a true scene break until almost the end of the movie. Zach Galifianakis is in this movie as a normal sane person, and he's fantastic. I wish he did more acting where he was not trying to reprise his hangover part, because he's actually a really good actor and he was a lot of fun to watch. Oh, Michael Keaton's great. The story is silly, but it's interesting, and it's just one of those movies where don't even try to figure out what's going to happen next. Don't even, just sit back and let the craziness happen. It's a lot of fun. And there's some kind of dark parts to it as well, some rather meaningful moments. Overall, just an interesting, unique, fun movie to watch with some women who are actually over the age of 30 doing a really good job, and that's always a welcome thing for me. So I went and had two movies to watch, recommend both of them. If you only get a chance to see one, I'm going to give a slight edge to Whiplash, because with the story of Whiplash just being so good and surprising, which Birdman is surprising too, but it's the surprising part of Birdman is the fact that they are not bound to reality. And Birdman, they're just going to throw in wackadoodle stuff. Whereas with Whiplash, they're trying very much to be a reality story. There are a couple moments that I thought, I don't know if that would have happened, but overall, just could not, just thought it was great, great. Could not find fault with it. Also, though, really love Birdman. Hope you get to see these movies. And thanks so much for joining me. Talk to you soon.